Hi everyone, thank you for joining us here again for this week's live stream narcissistic abuse recovery question and answer session. Fantastic to have you back again as always. Okay, I'm very excited to let you all know that we've got David Demars joining us here tonight, and he will be here any second. So I'm just waiting for him to pop up on my screen so I can let him in. While we're just waiting for David, everyone, I hope you've had an amazing week. It's been very chilly here in Brisbane, Australia. I'm not sure what the weather's like. And here's David. Okay, so enough with the weather talk, and I shall let David in. Hi, David. Okay. Okay. And let's hope that works. Hopefully he'll be in soon. And there he is. Hi, David.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. What's the weather like over there? It's freezing here.
Oh, it's been in the hundreds every day, but weirdly enough, it's raining right now, which it never does in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. That would have cooled things down a bit, maybe?
Yeah,
No?
yeah, 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 it does. You need it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And everyone, yeah, David's co-hosting the show again tonight. So we're so lucky to have David back again. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning over there in Las Vegas. So David does an amazing job to get up and support us and co-host the show. So we've got Ali Schultz here already. Hi, Ali. How you going? And we've got Rachel Ann Wood says hi. Guys, make sure you say, as you're saying hi, say whereabouts you're from in the world. And also, guys, I'm going to keep saying this. Please like and share. We're trying to, yeah, as always, raise awareness around narcissistic abuse, and you can help us with that cause, and you can be part of that change. So, yeah, please like and share. And I think it would be amazing if you could do it while we're live streaming, I guess, to help people that might know what they're going through, and it might just click when they see this. So, hi, Julie. We've got Julie here. Hi, Nova and David. Thank you for joining us, Julie. Okay,
Hello,
David.
Julie.
We settled on a topic for tonight. We thought we would talk about the smear campaign, which all victims go through when they've either during the relationship or after the horrific discard. We've got Yanni Verikakis. Sorry, Yanni, I'm not sure if I pronounced that okay. Yes, so I'll let you start with that one, David.
Sure.
The the smear campaign.
Yeah, well, we give it a name, a smear campaign, and that's kind of a broad term, and it can consist of a lot of things, and it's not a legal term, and so I want to go over some of those things so you guys are informed on what your rights are and what you should do, and also give you guys an idea of what they're thinking when they're doing this and why they do this, why people do stuff like this, and it's really important that you guys make really good choices for yourself always in life. It's okay to make mistakes, but right now is not a good time to make a mistake. So you want to make sure you do things really, really good and be very careful. A smear campaign isn't always just talking bad and saying bad things. There's a lot of different things that consist of a smear campaign, and we're going to go over that stuff like slander and libel, defamation of character, harassment, things like that. So I think it'd be good to touch on those things so everybody knows kind of what to expect, what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Dave. We've got Dave Herman there. Dave says hello. Yeah. Look, and I guess that the smear campaign, David, is it's all about discrediting you, isn't it? It's about making that preemptive strike
That's it.
because
That's it.
they don't want to be exposed. So
That's it.
they
And I
you've
think,
seen them. You've seen behind that
yeah,
mask.
right. Yeah, I've been through this, and for you guys that have been through this, you know when it starts, it's very, it startles you, it's shocking, it scares you, it throws you off, and you're not sure why they're doing it. You're just like, why are they doing this? To let you know, every single time I've ever heard of anybody doing this, it is because they believe that you know them and that they know they've done bad things to you, and they're totally afraid of what you are going to say about them. And so
Yeah.
they do all these bad things. They think everyone's going to do that to them, you know?
Mhm.
So they're really afraid. And even though you come out of this relationship, you've been manipulated, you're fooled, you may not even believe, you don't usually typically realize that they're as bad of a person as they are. They haven't even shown their true
Absolutely.
colors completely. You could date someone for 2 years, 4 years, and then when the relationship ends, then you really see how awful they can be. And it's
Oh,
shocking and it scares you. Yeah.
you will never come up against such an enemy, and you will wonder, you know, what did you do? You know, there's they the viciousness of it, and I know, you know, most of you guys will have experienced this, that just the the ability to completely destroy your life is wrapped up in that smear campaign with you know, and it's all about their reputation management. You know, they have to be able to transition into that new phase, probably with the new target, untarnished. And how can they do that if you're, oh my goodness, going around telling the truth, which is they are an evil predator, and look, this is what they've done to me, this, and this. They have to preempt your attack, and they have to smash it basically and
Yeah.
destroy you.
And just know when you see how good they are at it, know that they've been doing this. They've almost always done it before. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They've got a lot of practice. Look, I've sorry, go on, David.
Well, I was going to say, besides like totally, completely insane, these are the people that are the most dysfunctional people in relationships. They don't know how to handle relationships. They don't know that there's not going to be closure. You know, they're not going to try and make you feel better or, you know, nothing. So it's always ghosting and hoovering and smear campaigning and that's how they handle relationships. And the closer they are to somebody, the more attached they are to somebody, the worse they're
Yeah,
going to be to you. Yeah.
yeah,
Because you know who
and
they are.
absolutely, and the thing is, you know, one of their strategies is, you know, during that devaluing process, they've been just, you know, abusing you so much that you are so worn down and so vulnerable and just so, I guess, weak. You you know, this is a strategy of theirs, so you wouldn't have any energy to kind of combat the warfare that they are instigating against you anyway. And this is part of the, you know, why the devaluing happens just before that horrific discard. It's to weaken their opponent before the smear
Yeah.
campaign.
Well, take it back even further. Let's go like right in the beginning of the relationship. A lot of times they consume all your time. And what happens is you kind of start breaking away from friendships and your family relationships a
Yeah,
little bit because
they
you're spending so
isolate
much
you.
time with
Yeah,
them. And that's where the
yeah,
isolation begins right there. As they
yeah,
devalue you and stuff, they start telling you they have a problem with, you know, one of your family members. I don't like them. I
yeah,
don't want you hanging out. You know, they have a problem with your friends, and you just start breaking these relationships off for these people, which you shouldn't be
yeah,
doing, but you do. It ends up happening. So by the time that relationship ends, you're usually pretty isolated. Most of us are. We, you know,
yeah.
the
And
people who have been
that
watching.
will be used against them, won't it, David? You know, with phrases like, "You haven't got any friends." Like, who will you go and turn to? You haven't got anyone. Meanwhile, they have manufactured that situation so that you don't have anyone. You don't have a support system, and this is all part of the destruction of you and the elevation of the narcissist while they move on.
You're right. Now, I think as you get, you know, into people like narcissists and borderlines and stuff like that, histrionics, big time, you know,
Yeah.
that's where you get the smear campaigns. Where it gets really nasty is I think where you get into really antisocial behavior, really,
Yeah.
really antisocial behavior. And you know, that's where they're really charming because anybody that does this, I'm going to let everyone know. I don't care about the face they put on because while they're doing this, they're going to be the best actor ever. So they have
Oh,
to put on that face of I, you know, it's either I'm a total victim and you abuse me, or it's I'm confident, strong, happy. I'm in a happy relationship a week later with somebody else, and look at you, you're down there miserable. So you're
Yeah.
the sick one, I'm the happy
That,
one, and I'm starting to
that,
go out and try to be friends with your friends, and I'm going to connect with one of your family members and talk bad about you, and yeah, and
yeah.
it's so psychologically just screws with
It's
your head so hard.
traumatizing when when you're when your self-esteem and your emotion are just just all kind of screwed up anyway. When that smear campaign comes in, oh my goodness,
And I
it's just
and
it's
I
like the
was
last
telling you,
nail in the coffin.
yeah, I was telling you earlier that I know clients that while they're going through this, they are literally so isolated. Some of their family believes the stuff. Some of their friends believe the stuff. They are so alone. They'll go back to their ex while they're smear campaigning them. They'll just go
Yeah.
back to him and then it stops. You know.
Yeah. And the thing that makes look even they can even make your own children believe it because just the insidious manipulations that are involved, like for example, that they always throw in, just a little seed of truth, or they
Absolutely.
plant a seed of truth. Like for instance, you might have been out one night and maybe you did get a little drunk. Maybe it was a birthday party or something, and you were just having a wonderful time. And then after the relationship ends, when they're trying to smear you, oh, they're an addict, they're an alcoholic. Remember that time when you saw them drunk that night? I have to look after them all the time. So not only are they a victim of your addictions and your abuse, they're also the martyr who tried to save you. I did everything for them. I love them so much, but they just would not help themselves. So they're a victim and a martyr all in one. And then, of course, the new target comes along, and no one blames them for sliding into that relationship because this person is there to support them and help them heal from your abuse. The last
Yeah, right.
victim, you're abusive.
Totally. No, totally. I think the real plan is when they start this is I don't want anyone to know who I really am. So what they do is they attack and you react. So you're like, oh my God, because it's shocking, it's startling, it's not true. You don't want these people to think this and know that. So you
You're
react,
blindsided. Yeah.
and whatever your reaction is, it's bad because you're either freaking out or you're defending yourself or you're talking, now you're slinging stuff back at them. But they are the first ones to say it. That's the first thing you hear. That sticks in your head forever, no matter what.
Yeah.
And so what they do is as you react, they just switch it. They just say, they act like they've done nothing. They haven't said anything about it. And they go, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing to me.
Yeah.
Look what they're saying.
So
This is a smear campaign
absolutely.
against me. Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
so passive aggressive, isn't it? They will set the situation up. Guys, I'd love to hear your examples. If you've got some real doozies for us, because I know David and I have just heard some horrific examples. But that passive aggressive nature where they will goad you and provoke you until they get a reaction, and they love doing that in front of people so that they've got proof, or they might get a camera out and take a small video so that they can show people proof later on. And if they want to just, I guess, verbally destroy you, all they've got to use is themselves as a template. They've just got to look at all the horrific things they did, and there's a wonderful template for them to use that they can accuse you of doing.
Right. Well, I knew a client, really nice lady who throughout the relationship with her ex, during the worst fights they ever had, whenever she finally broke down and was so upset, he started videotaping her, video recording her. And
Mm.
she couldn't figure out why. She was like, what are you doing? Like I feel horrible. And it's when she's maybe upset. She might be slamming on something, yelling back, finally yelling, and that's when the recording starts.
Yeah.
And she didn't realize it until the relationship was over. And then he compiled it and showed everything. Look how she was, our whole relationship. Yeah.
It's sickening, isn't it? I wish I could say that I hadn't have heard that, but I've heard it so many times that it's scary. So it's clearly, guys, this is clearly textbook behavior. And classic examples where they're trying to smear you. David, I know you would have heard this from your clients, will be, you know, you're an unfit parent. You know, you're mentally unstable. What else? Oh, you've got major addiction issues. You know, you're an alcoholic, or you're a drug addict, or you know, things like that. And the thing is, you know, sometimes I know that as victims, you will try and self-medicate, and you've got that massive anxiety that going on all the time. And I know, you know, a lot of victims do try and get rid of that anxiety, you know, with alcohol and things like that. So the
Big time.
narcissist sets up that situation where you need to alleviate that anxiety, and often they will be feeding that to you, going, here, have another drink, have this and have that. But then when it suits them, turn around, flip that, and turn that against you and make out like you've got this massive problem to use
Sure.
against you in the smear campaign.
Sure, because all they're trying to do is hurt you, and all they care about is what they look like. That's all. All they care about is what they look like. So I got to look like the good one. You got to be the bad one. And if they can hurt
Yeah,
you in the process, perfect. Yeah. So I
yeah.
think it's
Oh,
really important to talk about why they do this. You know, we said to protect their own image, but realize, guys, that these are personality disorder people. We're talking tons of insecurities, you know. So and they during this process, I don't care if they're smiling and acting confident, they are very lost, confused, scared, desperate. So even though they may be lying, I've seen these people contrive evidence. So they'll make up another email account, and they'll make it in your name, and then they'll send them self messages. They'll screenshot it. They'll say, look, he or she is sending me messages, emails, saying all these things. And
oh my goodness.
that when they go to that length, know how desperate they are right now. They're very,
Yeah.
very desperate,
Oh,
very scared. Yeah.
yeah. Look, I heard of, you know, one client told me that, and she showed me where he had, I don't know how she showed me, but she must have taken screenshots, but he had edited out, well, deleted all her comments on like a thread in a text.
Uh-huh.
So, and then was showing this to everyone. So it looked like she had been stalking him, and there was about 60, you know, texts in a row. And he had manufactured this situation simply by deleting all his provoking comments in between. So it looked like she was a jealous, unstable,
Right.
crazy ex. And guys, this is
That's what I
what they
mean.
do. This is the links they will go to.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they just don't care about anything about them and how they look. That's
Yeah.
it. Their image
That
is
it,
everything to them.
yeah, it's all about you know, that reputation management and being able to, you know, if I imagine what society would think of them if there was no smear campaign and they just dumped you, which they have, in the most horrible, disgusting, evil possible way, and then the next day they were seen in public and all over social media, draped over their new victim. Well, without the
Right.
smear campaign, everyone in the community would think, well, what a toss-up, you know,
Yeah.
what an absolute toss up. You know, this
Right.
person is horrible, they're evil, and that would ruin their reputation. So, of course, the smear campaign manages all that down. So, and then everyone feels sorry for them and understands why they had to move on. So it's just, yeah,
All,
it's
all
all
evidence they're aware of what they're
manufactured.
doing. Yeah. All evidence that they're aware of what they're doing. Because we all think they must not know what they're doing. You know. No, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is what you said a bit earlier was, Um, this has been going on for ages, actually, during the relationship. That's because obviously they've been preempting the discard, and they've probably been, you know, buttering up, love bombing the new target. This smear campaign started. Once you know about it, guys, be absolutely assured that they started smearing you way before the smear campaign is evident to you. Yeah, and
Yep.
that's the
Yep.
horrific thing. It's just you feel violated, don't you? It's
Oh,
terrible
totally.
for the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's so many new laws now on this
Just,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got some questions here. Excuse me, guys. David. Okay, let me just find them. Okay, we've got Dave Herman there. Hi, Dave. Ali Schultz says, would they sabotage your car? Look, it depends on, I guess, on the narcissist, Ali. But you know, if you think that this person is out to get you, and you know they want you to make you look like a fool, they want to hurt you, then you know don't discount that. I mean, we all know that a narcissist is capable of anything, aren't they, David? It's you know,
Well,
it's
I mean, these are self-saboteurs. They'll sabotage themselves.
yeah,
And when they're in this process, like I said, I don't care what they look like, it's how they feel. They will go to these amazing lengths. I mean, I've heard this over and over and over. You'll hear this person say, you know, I don't care what happens to me. I'll go down with the ship. I'll go down with them, but I'm taking them down. You know,
yeah,
those are
yeah,
scary statements. You got to
yeah.
take that stuff
And
serious. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess it's not just about impression management. It's also about punishing the victim, you know, and you're
Right.
sitting there, I know you're probably sitting there, well, for what? You know, I didn't do anything. Well, yes, you did. You, in the narcissist's mind, you lied to them. You're not that perfect, you know, shiny object that you were in the very beginning. So you lied. You started
Yep.
seeing behind their mask, which they see as an absolute, it's just pure narcissistic injury. So yeah,
Totally.
you're going to be punished for that.
Oh yeah,
You're
that
not going to get away.
idealization stage. Yeah, that idealization stage is their expectation of you. So
Yeah,
when you let someone put you up there, realize that you have to fill those shoes. You have to
yeah,
be that up there because when you're not, that's their expectation of you. And then you didn't meet it. Like you said, you lied to them and realize that these people are total victim mentality, which means they've been victimized as children. They're in massive pain, massive hurt. They don't know what to do or how to process that. They never have since it happened.
yep,
And so if they're in this much pain and hurt, they believe that you're in control. Even though they try to control you, they believe you're the one in control. And that means if they're hurt, it's your fault. You hurt them. If this
yeah,
relationship didn't work out, it's your fault. Yeah, so I'm going to
absolutely.
punish you for it. You hurt me too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Ali, I certainly wouldn't discount that, that they would sabotage your car. If that's something you're fearful or that the narcissist knows that you're a bit worried about, then as we know, they go for the chinks in your armor. So I would certainly, yeah, watch it and don't let them anywhere near your car.
They'll hurt
Okay.
their own children. How about that? They don't care about
Sorry, what?
cars. Yeah. They'll hurt
Yeah.
their own children just to get to you. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, actually, we were talking about that just earlier, David, with the children. One lady told me that you know that the narcissist would provoke her and goad her and make her react to his abuse through the gaslighting. Um, but then he would bring the children out. You know, she would try and kind of, you know, go into another room or something, but he would bring the children out and go, look at your mother. Look how crazy she is. And by this time, you know, she's, you know, sitting on the ground crying, just beside herself.
Yeah.
Prove to the children how unstable she is, and then be the hero. Take the children out for ice cream to get them away from their unstable mother. So there's
Man.
the setup here, you know, it's and these are in impressionable minds of the children. And it's, well, yeah, dad must be right. I'm seeing mum, she's acting kind of crazy. And now dad's the sane one who's calm and rational and cool, and he's telling mum, you know, that he cares about her. And now he's taking us out for ice cream. And it's just a big setup.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. And I mean, the worst time of your life, you need support. You need people in your corner to help you, and you've got nobody. The only
Yeah.
person you had now turned on you. Yeah.
Yeah. How many times do we hear about, you know, when the narcissist moves in, which we know they do very, very quickly, and they totally enmesh themselves in your life. You know, how many times do we hear about your children, the victim's children, you know, the relationship just falling apart with the victim because it's been, you know, they have been gaslighted and they've witnessed all this crazy projection of the narcissist onto their parent, you know, and teenagers will move out and then end up becoming friends with the narcissist down the track, even after the parent and the narcissist have split up. And this is just a double whammy for the victim, watching their kids align with the narcissist. And yeah, so yeah, kids can definitely be manipulated in that smear campaign. It's just horrific. Okay. Rachel's got a question or a comment. Rachel says, my ex used to do that to me personally to push me into an emotionally distressed state. Then he would drop the mask and be ruthlessly cold. I would then go into shock and he would call the ambulance. That's all I can see. Sorry, Rachel. Oh my goodness. Just textbook, isn't it, David? Goad you, provoke you, get you going, get you acting crazy because you're reacting to their abuse. So you're reacting exactly the way they want you to react, and then call the authorities, call the police or the ambulance, and say, take her away, she's crazy.
Yeah, common. You know, they feel so bad, I need you to feel bad like me, and I'm going to upset you so much. And then, oh, I created that, great. It makes them feel better. And they have to be the good guy, you're the bad guy. I'm not the unhealthy one, you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make you
So,
sick,
and often that's the start for a lot of victims that the smear campaign has begun. You know, they will have, you know, the police or the ambulance in that situation to take them away, or even, you know, child protection services, you know, arrive on your doorstep and go, hey, we've got these terrible reports saying that you're an unfit parent. We're going to investigate you, you know, and things like this. And it can destroy the victims, as we know. So, yeah, look, absolutely textbook, Rachel.
Yeah, and I'm going to say now, and I'm going to say it probably more times throughout the video, is you got to have support through things like this. You got to have, with the bad things people are saying about you, you got to have, you know, people there saying good things, you know, and ask them. You know, we also, you know, don't listen to it, but when it's there all the time, when it's in your face, every time you look at social media, your emails, stuff like that, and there it is, you're a bad person. Get some people around you. Surround yourself with people that you trust, that love you, you know, telling you good things about yourself. You need to. It's really, really important because they're trying to break you down.
Absolutely. That's so right, David. They, you know, it should, that phase that they all go through, it should actually be called love bombing, devalue, discard, and destroy. You know, the 3 Ds, because after the discard, that's when they sink the boot in. That's when they absolutely want to destroy you. They don't just sail off into the sunset. They want to annihilate you. So it's just as David said, lots and lots of support, guys.
Yeah, so important. So important.
Yeah.
Isolation's the worst thing you do through any of this stuff. Isolation's the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, I guess, and that's why it's so important to raise awareness, isn't it, guys? Please, you know, help us to raise awareness, because as you know, as at being victims, whether you are right, you know, whether it's really fresh or whether you're a bit further along in your healing journey, you know that when this smear campaign comes on, you are so just worn down and vulnerable, and the narc has isolated you. So it's really important, as David said, to gather up the troops and really draw on anyone you can for support. You know, you really need to counter all that abuse that the narc is putting inside your head. Yeah. Josie Watkins is here. Hi, Josie. The narc in my life is not educated on the disorder. Don't make him educated, Josie. So he has taken this as a battle of the mind and sees me as low supply because I call him out and will use reverse psychology. Okay, that's all I can see. So yeah, what do you say to that, David? Especially with the he doesn't know about that. She now knows he's a narcissist.
Well,
So
now
she,
you know, and now you know that he can't change, and he's an abuser, and he's going to keep doing it. So no more contact. Just stop talking to him. No more interactions. No more reactions. He's gonna try and do. Watch. He'll step it up, and he's going to act crazy and do some weird things to you. You can't react. You got to stop now.
yeah,
Now that you know this, stop. It's no more playing games. It's you don't know how to handle him. You can't fight back. There's no more revenge. It's never going to work with these people. If you're not disordered, you will not win against a disordered person. They don't care what
that's
happens to them.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. I know I've said this before, but yeah, it would be like you going in to defend yourself and thinking, well, I know, I'm armed now. I know they're a narcissist. So, I can go in there and I can tell them they're a narcissist and they do this, this, and this, and I know all about them and I'm going to sink their ship. But wow, to do that, to go in and try and defend yourself against the narcissist, I've said this before, it's like picking up a tennis racket and going up against the world's number one.
Yep.
You will lose because as strong as you think you are, and I'm not saying you're weak, and this has got nothing to do with intelligence, as strong as you think you are and as armed with knowledge as you think you are no match for the narcissist because they can sink to the most evil, manipulative, pathological behavior that you could never even think of in a million years.
Yep.
Yeah, you won't win. You won't
Yeah.
win.
I'm telling you, this is a very antisocial behavior. Most of these people that do it, especially take it this far, they're sociopaths, psychopaths. Very
Yeah, yeah,
antisocial behavior this is. And
absolutely.
no, nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. Nobody, I know people say we like drama. Some people like drama and stuff, but nobody likes to sit there. Healthy people do not want to sit there and listen to anyone talk bad about someone else. It's just negative and nobody likes it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody
Actually,
healthy.
yeah, you just said no one likes drama, and how often do you hear that at the narcissist's mouth? Yeah, tell us if you heard this a lot, guys. I'd love to hear your comments. But yeah, they just hate drama. You are such a drama queen. Why can't we just have a conversation without having an argument? You turn everything into an argument. So they're always professing that they hate drama. Meanwhile, they're manufacturing that drama because they actually can't stand peace. They have to have drama. So all of that
Right.
is just lies.
Right. Right. Yeah. They're never
Yeah.
comfortable with who they are. Like you said, they can't accept peace.
No, no. If things,
Everybody knows
you know,
out there. Everybody knows
sorry.
out there. Everybody knows out there when it's good for a while, it's scary, huh? You know something's
Yeah,
gonna happen. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. You might have been had a lovely day out. I don't know, been to the races. Or just had a really nice family day out, and you think, wow, that was a really nice day, and you come home, and there it is, the provoking, the sabotaging, the setting you up, and having to leave the house because you did something, and it's
Yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
that's because it was a nice day. There was no drama.
Which means they're not getting enough attention. It's not enough
Yeah,
focusing on them. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, we've got Julie here. Julie says, "Hi, Julie. Uh, Julie had an instance where her son's, I think she's responding to Ali, where her son's car was tampered with. He couldn't target her daughter's car because of her DVO, so he would target family and friends. So yeah, obviously that is something that you need to worry about, and yeah, they won't stop. They stoop to any kind of low. They won't stop at anything, and if that's going to hurt you, then why not?
Yeah. It's not a game. I know it seems like they're playing around, playing a game. This is so important to them that they win.
Yeah.
They're trying to win.
I
I know that means the game, but this is life and death sometimes to these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to understand
Patricia's
that
here.
they're manipulators, they're users, right? So they need us. They need things from you. They can't just ask for it all the time. So they're going to manipulate and lie and get you to do what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we've got Patricia here. Patricia says, "Good morning from Tampa, Florida." Good morning, Patricia. Nice of you to stay up. Ali says, "Denial is their greatest weapon." Um, absolutely. Yeah. You know, deny, 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 and then blame shift. I didn't do that. The proof's there right in front of them, and just deny it. And how crazy making is that to have black and white proof? You can have video proof, and they will still deny it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. You'll have someone post video after video after video for 6, 7 months, 15, 20 videos, and then say, oh no, I'm not doing anything. I didn't do anything. You're smear campaigning me. And it's just
Yeah,
like, dude, it's right there. It's all right there. What is all this? And they just call it
yeah.
something else. Huh,
Yeah. So,
I'm
and
exposing
they're
you.
sitting there while you're expending this energy to prove your case, to state your case in the narcissist or to the narcissist, all you are doing is giving them exactly what they want because that's why they're denying it. Ali,
And
they want you to sit there and react and jump up and down and dance to prove your point. But they already
yeah,
know. They know that
and
you're
now you're
right.
fighting. Now you're fighting with them. Now it's this fight they created. If you don't
Yeah,
do
and you're
anything
a drama
back, it's
queen.
not a fight. It's just them. And that's so important. We'll talk about that, what we do about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. They will, yeah, now you're a drama queen, you're trying to cause an argument, and that they might be wanting a reason to skip out the door. So, this is all a setup. So yeah, David's going to give you some strategies later on how to combat that. Okay, we've got Maxine Martin here. Hi, Maxine. Thank you for joining us. Patricia says, when I first met him, I asked him why he had so many Facebook pages, and he got very angry and said he hasn't been on Facebook for years because there's too much drama. Yeah, well, there you go. The person who loves instigating drama hasn't been on Facebook for ages because they don't like drama, David, or so they say. So
Yeah, that means he created too much drama and he got caught and exposed or something. It didn't work out the way he wanted, so he cut everything off. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. There's when they get caught, yeah, that they deny and then they flick it around, and blame shift onto you. So that the problem wasn't with the victims. Sorry, the problem wasn't with them with the abuse, which I don't know, might have been lying, cheating, whatever they were doing. The problem is, how dare you, snoop on my phone, and a lot of the time they leave the evidence out in reach of you so that you will find it, so that they can, this crazy logic of theirs, the way they think. So they plant it there for you so you can look at it and then they can go, see, you're sneaky, you're jealous, and this is why I have to leave you because you're just insecure. Meanwhile, they are manufacturing these insecurities in you.
Right.
It's
Right.
just crazy making. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Lisa Marie's here. Hi, Lisa Marie. Patricia, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Very just textbook, isn't it, Patricia? Who else have we got? Josie says, I am no contact, by the way. Good for you. Good on you. Make sure you stay that way, Josie. It's the only way you're going to get through all of this drama or through this smear campaign and to be able to heal. Okay, has anyone got any more questions, guys? Otherwise, David might talk, hi, Nicole, talk a little bit about the strategies. We haven't got any more questions at the moment, David. So did you want to talk about
Okay.
how to combat the smear campaign?
Right. I want just to briefly touch on like what to identify. And so I want you to know any unwanted attention someone gives you is harassment. If someone's giving you attention and you don't want it, it's harassment. Really important to know. So people aren't allowed to sit there and keep calling you. Okay? They aren't there. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's your father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, your priest, your counselor. If you don't want someone to contact you, they're not allowed to. That's harassment. So, and that
Yeah.
can be, people posting things on social media about you constantly. That's about you. It's attention towards you, and it's unwanted. That's harassment. Okay? People
Yeah.
can't be doing these things. So, real clear and simple, you've got harassment right there. Okay?
Yeah.
Any unwanted or negative campaign. We talk about smear campaigns, and think about if someone's running for office, right? And you have a campaign going for you. So if somebody is giving you an unwanted campaign, that starts to become stalking. So if someone
Mm.
has a campaign and it's an ongoing thing, and they're saying all kinds of things about you, and it's bad, that becomes stalking. Okay, it becomes into cyber stalking if they use the internet. Okay, it's just important to know these things. Really, really important. I want to go over slander, simply slander and libel. These are when somebody is writing or saying things about you that are not true. Okay, not opinions. I can, someone says David is ugly. I can't really do anything about that. That's an opinion. Okay, let people
No one
say
would
whatever they
say that.
want about you. But so we can voice our opinions on people. We can voice our opinions on businesses and stuff like this. I didn't like
Yeah.
their food. You know what I mean? I don't care for the service, whatever. But what we can't do is sit there and just say things that are untrue. And
Yeah.
and this is where disordered people try to manipulate and bend laws and rules, and they can't, because if you're trying to say something about me that's not true and I can prove it, that is slander. It's not just opinion. You can't just go around. I can't go around and say Nova is not licensed at all. That's not
Yeah.
opinion, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't matter if I know or not. If someone asks me, is Nova licensed? And I don't know, I could say, I don't know. I think maybe
Yeah.
she isn't. That's different. If I'm going around saying she's not, that is slander. If I write it down, it's libel, and it's all illegal. Okay?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what your intentions are. It doesn't matter if you didn't know. You can't be saying things that aren't true to people. And malicious intent is a lot, right? So if
Yeah.
somebody's saying it over and over and over again, and they say they also don't like you, and they say I hate your business and don't go. All of this isn't malicious intent. Okay, so it's all illegal.
Yeah.
Now, these things alone are illegal. Altogether, you've got stalking. Okay, so we say that slander is hard to prove. Slander must require damages. So it's a hard, slander cases are difficult. But when they're harassing you, they have a negative campaign on you that you don't want, and unwanted attention, and they're saying things about you that aren't true. All these things together look horrible. They're
Yeah.
they're really
So
bad.
they've got to keep a paper trail, don't they? Yeah, guys,
Yeah,
just record everything. Yeah. And I think this is a problem, David, just with, I think the timing of when victims find out about the smear campaign is a problem, because, as we said, they don't find out about it, till a
yeah,
long time after it started. And also, the timing of it means that they're extremely vulnerable. They've got no energy to, which is part of the narcissist strategy, to kind of combat
sure.
this behavior, this stalking behavior, and also just the manipulative strategies and behaviors that the narc engages in, like where we were talking a bit earlier on, and we were talking about stalking. And, for example, if the narcissist is perhaps, the victim's got a restraining order out on them or something, and the narcissist may go, to the very border. Maybe they're not allowed on your property or something like that. So maybe they'll stand out on the road, and harass you and stalk you that way. They
Yep.
they come up with anything that's just going to ruin their life and try and destroy you. So yeah, it's so important that they record everything, video, whatever they can do.
very important on what you do at this point. Really, really important. You guys can make really critical choices that really hurt you. It's important. You can get in trouble. You can get arrested if you do something wrong. You can get sued if you do it wrong. And these people love to sue. They love to take up court time. They cost these disorders cost every country millions and millions of dollars a year in court fees, attorney fees. You know, they love it.
Yeah.
Frivolous
Yeah.
lawsuits take up your time. You know, poor me, I got hurt. You did this to me. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's all about attention, isn't it? To go into court, what a great platform for them, and to get you to spend money and to use, all the resources you have to defend yourself on these things that you shouldn't have to defend yourself on. But it's just all a big platter of narcissistic supply for the narcissist.
Absolutely.
Because they try and manipulate the whole judiciary system. And at the same time, it's a double win for them because they get to sink you because you're so crippled with the abuse. Yeah.
Right. Right. So what do we do, right? Absolutely important is gather evidence. So, and like you said, Nova, we don't know this is happening until people start telling us, and by then it's been happening for a long time. Probably everyone you know has heard some kind of stuff from them and might be wondering or questioning you by now. So when this stuff starts, you guys may think that you know the person, that they wouldn't do anything worse. They aren't going to really go anywhere. Just save it in case, because you will need that. If 6 months down the road they haven't stopped and you want to get a restraining order, you want to sue them, every little bit helps. So what you want to do, guys, is realize, make it all one-sided. No contact at all. Don't post stuff about them, okay? Make it all one-sided. I'm telling you, the best revenge is to grow up and grow away from them and be happy and successful. So no more fighting. You make it all one-sided. I'm telling you, this is the key. This is the key.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So they're going to say all these bad things about you, but how does that look 6, 7 months, 9 months down the road when they're still doing it? And you haven't said a thing. You haven't reacted. What that says is yes, and you say this, I was in a very bad, unhealthy relationship. I was unhealthy. They're unhealthy. But guess what? I left, and I haven't turned around, and I'm not communicating with this person, and this person's staying there, and they're remaining unhealthy, and I am the healthy one because I'm not contacting them. I'm not fighting back with them. I'm not doing anything. It's all them.
Absolutely. And while they're healing, David, inevitably the narcissist has probably moved on. Well, they would have moved on, but they're probably, 2 or 3 relationships, down the track. And for some reason, each person they break up with is crazy, and this smear campaign starts for that person and then that person, and every victim ends up, punching walls or doing these crazy things after they've been with the narcissist. So this is hopefully going to become apparent, to flying monkeys and people who were susceptible to that smear campaign, that, hey, here's a pattern, that this person has engaged in this behavior again, and that person that they were saying is crazy, a drug addict, whatever they were saying, has moved on. And they're actually looking pretty together and healed and moving on with their life. So yeah, it's just so important not to go in and defend yourself. They, and that little seed of truth that they plant in there is really going to be your downfall as well, because anything you can say as a victim to go in and defend yourself, they're going to preempt it. That they're going to go, they're going to come to you and say this, this, and this, and they will have a plausible story to go along with that, which will be wrapped around that little, teeny grain of truth. So, and that little grain of truth is what people will recognize. So, and that's what
Yep.
makes the SMEs campaign so believable, because people go, oh, wow, you might actually have something. I did see, David out partying and having a few too many drinks that night, or I did see Nova, sobbing uncontrollably on the phone that time and looking a bit, mentally unstable. And all
Yep.
of this they will go, yeah, well, I told you, like they're the together ones, and
Yeah,
it's
cool,
just
calm,
this.
and collect. Yeah, cool, calm, and collect, like a total sociopath, you know,
Yeah,
just crazy inside, but perfectly charming smile. Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's all acting time. Acting time is on. So,
yeah,
like I said, make it one-sided. Um, let them be repetitive. Let this go on for a long time. That actually will help your case. It's really hard to prove someone is harassing you and stalking you in a week, but they can
yeah,
do all the same stuff over and over again for 6 months. That's easy to prove, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear your
Go ahead.
comment, or David and I would love to hear your comments, guys. If you've got any like examples of the smear campaign where you've had to, I guess, try and walk away, or you have actually gone in and defended yourself, and how that worked out for you, because
Yeah.
that might just provide someone else with a little bit of support. David, I was speaking to a client a little while ago, and they were telling me about this regular smear campaign that their narcissist engaged, the warfare they engaged against them. And it was interesting, well, not interesting, it was awful, but they said that they, this, their partner was awful to them, within the household, just scream abuse, but quite passive aggressive. But when they walked outside of the house, they were this amazing neighbor. So, they were all really good friends with the neighbors, and, they'd go out and have a beer with them, and have little street parties, and mow their lawn for them when they went away. But she said that her partner loved to provoke her and then get her near the door or the window, so that the neighborhood could hear her screaming and carrying on. And of
Yep.
course, she said that he would be, there, prodding and probing and provoking, and that passive aggressive, getting her to react, but then making sure that the neighbors all heard it, so that it's just,
It's just like
yeah,
getting out the video
that's enough.
camera. Just like getting the video
Sorry.
camera out. I'm going to crush you. Just like the video camera, I'm going to crush you and then record it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, of course, and she had to live next door to these people who thought she was, mentally imbalanced, and that he was this wonderful person. So, yeah, very, very hard to combat that type of behavior. Julie
That's why
said,
you
we've got
just leave.
Susan Angrave here. Hi, Susan. Julie says it's a good idea to record and report to police everything, no matter how small, when it comes to DVOs. It all builds a big picture, and eventually they will start to take action. It takes
Right.
time. Yeah, very, very good words of advice there, Julie.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about when you want to just file a report, that's for you. That's documenting, that's recording something that happened. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to sit there and go, God, did they break the law or not? You don't have to sit there and nothing's, they're not going to go arrest this person, and the person won't know, but you're
That's
just
right.
making a
Yeah.
report, and
You're
it's a
building
really good thing to do.
it, absolutely. It's the accumulative effect. Guys, like David just said, you might think, oh, there's no way, the police will do anything about that. So what's the point? But it's the
Right.
accumulative effect. If you have, you know, um, just little bits of what you think is just really frustrating, annoying, bordering on, physically abusive behavior, one day they might do something that's absolutely horrific,
Yep.
and very physically or emotionally abusive. But if you've got all that evidence to back you up, they can put that all together and go, look, this person has been, stalking her, harassing this person, and they will accumulate it all together, and it's going to support your case. So yeah,
Yep.
very, very important to, no matter how small or insignificant you think it is, to record it, even, texts, emails, if they have a diary, diarize everything. If they, if you see them driving a couple of streets past your house, maybe that's because they just were going past your house and they wanted to see who was parked in your driveway. Record all of that, because you just don't know what's around the corner.
And also very important is don't just document what happened, document how it made you feel. So
Yeah,
they drove by my house again today for the fourth day in a row, and I'm getting more upset and I'm more stressed out. Now I'm
yeah,
scared to leave the house. Write all that
yeah.
stuff with a date and time stamp, and that compiled every day is showing absolute distress.
Absolutely. If you've got kids, document. I couldn't read to my kids that night. I couldn't sit
Yep.
down and eat dinner with them. I had to settle my nerves with medication, or whatever it is that you
I
did.
couldn't go to
If it
work.
affected the kids as well, yeah, couldn't go to
Didn't
work.
go to
All
work
of that.
today, too upset. Yeah. I got
Yeah,
sick and I got sick. I had to go to the doctors. I had to get medicine to calm me down. I mean, document this stuff because
yeah,
what the whole problem with this is that it's causing stress to someone else. And that's
yeah.
why there's laws to protect people from this. That's the whole idea. We don't want this to happen to other people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need to paint a picture, okay, so that with those first, few little brush strokes, that nothing is going to happen from that, or may not happen with that. But as you start to, connect all the dots and fill in all those spaces, that's when the picture will all come together. And it's really important to have all that stuff as evidence.
Right.
For further down the track.
Um, yeah.
Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Susan says, hi, Nova. At the end of my marriage, I was accused of adultery. And yet it wasn't me that committed the adultery. It was my husband at the time, with one of my oldest friends, even some of my adult children. That's all I can see. I'm sorry, Susan. I'm having trouble seeing the end of the long questions. But oh my goodness. Yeah, look, this just so common. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. But yeah, the cheating, David, and
Yeah.
then being accused of it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it's horrible. Yeah.
and
Like I said,
that
this
is,
whole thing is how we handle this after the relationship's over, right? So make it
yeah,
one-sided. Make it one-sided, guys. Just
yeah,
realize that the relationship is over. So don't make it a fight. Keep it all them, please. It's so important that we don't react because over time, we want, who cares what they say anymore? Like I keep saying, 6 months down the road, they're the one posting stuff. They're the ones saying bad things. They're the ones with the accusations, and you're not defending. You're not saying anything back, which means there's no fight. It's just them
yeah,
doing this. They're trying to get you
yeah,
to fight, but if you don't fight, there's no fight. It doesn't matter anymore what they're saying because the fact that they just keep going and going and going, it just shows everyone how bad they are, how sick they are. It's their fault because we
yeah,
all say no contact, no contact. So the person that keeps going is the bad one. The person that stops, at least they just stopped. That's all that matters.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan. Look, we spoke about this a little bit earlier about the children. That often they do, adult children, young children, that they fall for the smear campaign. And I wish there was something that I could tell you that you could do to combat this. But if they are believing this, that's because they have had a predator and a master manipulator twisting, their reality for them. And like we said, planting those little seeds of truth in there. And this is what they see, and this is what the narcissist wants. So yeah, a lot of the time, children unfortunately fall for it. But as David said, um, don't defend yourself, even to your adult children, because just go and do and move on with your life, and let them see that everything he said about you is just an absolute lie. Okay, and hopefully, I really, really hope that one day, your kids and that will know exactly what happened, and that you were the victim of this horrible smear campaign.
And you know really well, Nova, nobody wants to hear bad things about their parents. So
No.
let them say the bad things about you. Do not go back and say bad things about them. Never do that.
Yeah.
Never do that. Never do that to a child, say bad things about their parent. Never.
Yeah.
You're pushing
Yeah.
yourself away from them. Yeah.
That's right. You put them in a terrible position,
Yeah.
because no matter what, the kids love, that other parent, and they're victims too, and unfortunately they have been manipulated through the gaslighting, and that had the other parent portraying you in a bad light with those little seeds of truth, and yeah, it's really hard to I guess hold on to that sometimes, and not say, well, that's your father or your mother is an awful person, but just realize that they are kids, and that they are victims too of the narcissist.
Absolutely.
And yes, they love their other parent. No matter what you say or do, that is their parent, and they love them. Um,
Yeah.
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 So yeah. Susan says, I had to go no contact with them. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do with your children. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that,
Oh, that's
Susan.
horrible.
Look, with her own children, yeah, her adult
Oh,
children,
that's
David.
awful. That's
Yeah,
awful.
look, it is. It's awful. Susan, hopefully they will just keep your door open, I guess, further down the track, and hopefully they will see that all of that stuff is not true. It's a terrible thing to have to go no contact with your children, but I guess if they're under the wing of the narcissist, and that the relationship at the moment is that toxic that you need to have that space to be able to heal, then I guess that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I've said this before. DNA and biology does not give anyone the right to abuse you, does it, David?
Yeah.
And often we have to distance
Susan,
ourselves from family.
yeah, Susan, you come first. And we don't unconditionally love, our children that are abusing us. You come first no matter what. You don't accept it, so you're doing the right thing. That has to be
Yeah,
first. No matter what the outcome is, you're doing the right thing, okay?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
terribly sorry.
You can't be, we can't be good parents, Susan, while we're in, that storm of toxicity. We have
Mhm.
to create that space, no matter who it's with. If the relationship is toxic, we have to get away from it to heal, because we can't be a good parent. We can't be a good friend, a good mother, father. We can't be good unless we start loving ourselves, and we can't love ourselves until we heal. You've been traumatized. You can't minimize what you've been through. You've been absolutely traumatized, and you must heal. So, as David said, you must put yourself number one and heal before you can do anything else, and before you can be there for anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, right, correct.
Yeah. I'm just looking. I don't think we've got any more questions. Let me just have a look. Hold on. Yeah, no, I don't. Anyone got any more questions, guys, for David and I? Doesn't look like it. David?
So why don't I just run through quickly and briefly the steps on how we handle this stuff?
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. You need all the strategies that you can because yeah, I know how hard it is when you're hearing horrible things about yourself, not to go in and go, hey, that is so not true. It's actually them that's doing that. But that's the last thing they should do, isn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
some strategies
Yeah.
would be fantastic, David.
Yeah. This is actually the process you need to go through in most countries. Actually, it's required if you want to kind of pursue someone criminally or civilly. In most countries, this is the process you need to go through. So this is good for you guys to know this, and I'll try and keep it simple. Um,
Yep.
no contact throughout the entire process. Never, under any circumstances, no matter what. If they're doing this stuff, if they're harassing you and it's slander and libel, worst thing you can do is contact them. So just remember, no contact. First step, evidence. So gather all your evidence and file a report. You can file a report in this country. You can file a report with the FBI. Okay.
Wow.
You can do
Even stuff. Even I think we should just reiterate there, David, that when you said evidence, even stuff that you don't think that is going to be actionable, as in the police will act on it. Just tiny little incidental stuff. Document it,
you think it's
and
not pertinent
as we
now.
said before, and
right,
the
you
way
think it's not pertinent now. Yeah, but in 6 months, if they're threatening your life, it pertains to that now. You know?
definitely, yeah.
So we gather our evidence, we file reports with our local police, all that down at your county courthouse. Second thing, most highly recommended thing I could ever tell you guys to do is get a lawyer. Get somebody that's familiar with the laws, who's hopefully handled things like this before, who can tell you and give you all your rights and tell you what to do. And it also, man, I'm telling you, for you guys that have never dealt with or had a lawyer or anything, when you are being victimized, okay, a smear campaign is abuse. So you're being abused, okay? When you're being abused and victimized, go ahead.
No, sorry. I just want to before I forget. Just because you mentioned the lawyer there, not only the abuse, and this is something that's come up with me quite recently. It's when victims are in this position where they are just so worn out, and they don't even have the energy to tie their shoelaces, let alone often think about these kinds of things. These are also the times when the narcissist will pounce and get them to sign court orders and property settlements and things like this. So this is why it's really important to get a lawyer too, so that you don't get ripped off and you do go to court and get what you are entitled to, because the narcissist will think, oh, they're not going to do anything, and that's when they'll try and railroad you.
That is a great point. Great point, right. Because when we're down that far, sometimes we just want the pain to stop. We'll sometimes just sign away or whatever. Like you said, even the custody of your own children.
Just take it,
Sign over your half of the business, sign over the house, Yeah, so it's so important. I mean, when you're going through, if you're hurting, get professional help. Get a therapist, a counselor, a coach, whatever. Have somebody there for you to help you make good decisions during a crucial time of your life. Really, really important. So we get lawyers, okay? We get lawyers to help us. You guys don't have to pay an arm and a leg for almost anything. You can go and get free consultation from some lawyers. Sometimes it's cheap or free. Just find out. Go and find out. It's amazing. And I'm telling you, when you're hurting and you're being victimized and you're not sure what to do, sometimes that lawyer telling you, hey, this was wrong. What they've been doing to you is illegal. You have a case here. We're going to make them stop. They're going to go to jail. We're going to sue them. It feels so good. It's like, oh my gosh, finally some justice. Finally some, totally.
Yeah.
And
make sure they're the right lawyer though. There's make sure they're like therapists. There's lawyers out there who will just do whatever they have to just to kind of skim along. Make sure they are acting in your best interests, and and that they're not just trying to get a paycheck out of you at the end of the day. Yeah.
Absolutely. And here's the deal, because my next step is writing the person doing this a letter, because legally you have to contact them one time and say stop. And that means if you have stuff posted, that means stop doing it, but also take it down. So the lawyer, and you're not going to do this, you're going to have a lawyer write them a letter. And it's going to be
Yes.
everything needs to stop. You're going to erase every single thing you posted. You can't say their name one more time because we've gathered all the evidence. So I don't care if you get rid of everything and then you just keep talking about this person and you think that that's it. No, I've got evidence compiled of months of you harassing them. And so you're going to
Yeah.
stop all of it. And by law, almost in every country, that's what
So
has to happen.
yeah. So then you've got proof. You've said no more. That's it. Do not contact me. And if they do after that, you do not owe the narcissist good manners. Okay?
No,
If they're trying to hoover you with, oh hi, how you going? You know, how are you feeling today? You do not owe them good manners. Number one, they shouldn't be able to contact you because you should have blocked them. But if they do find a loophole and get through, you don't owe them good manners. And I hear this a lot. Oh, well, you know, I had to. I would have felt bad. Well, no, no, you don't owe them your
oh my
abuser
gosh.
anything.
Oh my gosh, Nova, it's crazy. I know you know it's I'll have a client tell me all these horrific things their ex
Yeah,
did to them, or they're even doing right now, and they're still worried about like, I don't want them to get in trouble. I don't want them to get arrested. That's gonna hurt.
yeah,
He'll lose his job, and it's like, dude,
yeah.
he's threatening to rip your head off, and he's damaging your belongings, and he's it's amazing that they're so worried about them, and it's sad. It's
But it's the gaslighting, isn't it, David? This is
totally
they and plus they're normal, non-disordered, empathic human beings, not like the narcissist who's completely
right.
devoid of a conscience. So they kind of, the victims think about these things. It's like,
Yeah,
well, I
yeah.
don't want to be like the narcissist. I don't want to be devoid of a conscience.
Yeah, we
But
have
guys, you
empathy.
have
We
to
don't want
be. You
anyone to
have
feel
to.
bad on our account. Yeah, we don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I
So,
hear it so often too, where the narcissists will be doing all these horrific things and they'll be, oh, I can't, not let him come into my house and have contact with his kids inside my lounge room. That's where they like to play, in my lounge room. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you can't be letting the narcissist in your house. But this is, some of the things they've been conditioned to think is okay and appropriate, and it is so not appropriate. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, totally. So
yeah,
the last couple of things. Now, this I'm going extreme. I'm going someone that's smear campaigning, slander, libel, harassing you. So this is the process, and you can decide where you end that process if you want. So,
yeah,
no contact, gather evidence, file reports, get a lawyer. When you get this lawyer, get a lawyer. Like Nova was saying, get the right lawyer because you can find you if you contact lawyers, you'll get a injury lawyer that'll agree. Oh, I'll write them a letter for you. Sure,
yeah,
but here's the deal. That'll work, and you can have them write a letter, and they may stop doing it. Great if that works. But here's the problem: if they don't stop, what are you going to do now? You're going to follow. You're going to keep forward with a injury lawyer? No, you want a lawyer that's handled slander, libel, harassment, stalking. So,
yeah, absolutely.
and realize that these letters aren't expensive, guys. This process can be stopped by one letter from a lawyer. Most of this stuff is stopped by a
Yeah,
letter from a lawyer, and it could be $100, $50, $200. Okay, and that could be everything that it costs you. So we contact them by law. We have to let them know, hey, we don't like this. Please stop. Erase everything. Okay. That lawyer has given them a chance. They've listed out all the ordinance codes and laws that they've broken. Now they won't stop, so now you file for a restraining order. This is the process you have to go through. You file for a restraining order. That judge will look at that and say, did you let them know? Did you contact them, give them warning? Yes, we did. They didn't respond. They didn't, they kept
and
going.
David, can I just quickly interrupt there? With the restraining order, once again, don't just look for overt stuff. As in stuff that is just right in front of you and smacking you in the face. Don't just look for that really overt stuff. An example was I had someone come to see me a little while ago, and their narcissist was inboxing, like private messaging on Facebook, uh, all of this person's friends, that they were cheating on their spouse. And that's that's slander and that's libel. They knew exactly who it was. So go to the police and go gather whatever evidence you can, because yeah, they didn't have absolute proof because obviously they were using a pseudonym name, a fake name, but they wanted to destroy their life. They wanted their wife, I think it was, to think that they'd been cheating. They hadn't, but this is what the narcissist wanted to create, to ruin their life. It would be the same as, someone saying, this stuff follows you around for the rest of your life. You know, if someone says, oh, that's a child molester, well, you know, it might be absolute garbage that you're a child molester, but try wiping that mud off your body for the rest of your life. Yeah. If you get,
the seed has
you know,
been planted.
that exactly, that slander can destroy people's lives. You know, so if they're saying stuff like this, you know, it's really hard to get that mud to unstick. So don't just look for the overt stuff.
Yeah, right. And why do lawyers recommend to their clients, you know, plead the fifth? Don't sit there and defend yourself, because that just looks horrible. Now you've got a false accusations, planted a seed, and you're spending the rest of your time, I didn't do it, I wouldn't do that. No, just ignore it. It's not true, ignore it. You don't need to defend yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after we file for a restraining order, if they haven't complied and they keep going with the stuff, you're probably going to get a restraining order for them. This is usually good for a year, and you need to renew it every year. Keep all the evidence. Always keep that evidence, guys, because they may have stopped, but they may come back 5 years later, 10 years later. I've heard of hoovering 25 years later and then harassing 25 years later. That's insane. And then the rest of the process is this, very important. Convict them. So even if they're living in another country, you get a lawyer in that country, or you get your lawyer to insist that the department presses charges against these people. So you want a conviction, because I'm going to tell you, with a conviction, you're going to sue them and you're going to win. It's harder to be found guilty in a court of law that's criminal. It's easier to get someone found guilty civilly. So if they've been found guilty criminally,
they don't have to have that black and white proof in a civil suit, do they, David? Whereas in a criminal court, you have to have 12 jurors or whatever is agree that that absolutely haven't happened. With the preponderance of the evidence. Whereas in a civil suit, that it can be more grey as opposed to black and white. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In a criminal case, there has to be no doubt. So there has to be no doubt. And so once they prove that, you can sue them, because when you sue them, it's just, are they more guilty or more innocent? And if you've already been found guilty in a court of law criminally, you're going to win that case, period. That's why people will beat a murder rap, but then get sued later and lose that, even though they're found innocent.
Don't we hear about that all the time? Yeah. Big cases we hear that.
Yeah, that's the process. And it's, again, no contact. Let them be the one doing it. Let them they're saying bad things and you're smiling, not saying anything. They're making all these claims, you're so unhealthy and all this, and you're working on your life and you're becoming healthier and happier and doing good things.
Yeah. Building up a business, you're getting healthy, you've lost weight, you're looking at whatever you're doing to be amazing. That's what you need to do, guys.
I'm with a counselor every week, and we're doing better things. I'm feeling better, and and they're not, because they won't. They never will. They'll never get better. They'll never be in counseling. They'll never.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we might answer. I've got a couple more questions there, so we might just answer 2 more questions and then wrap it up for the night. Okay, who else have we got? We've got Camelia's joined. Hi, Camelia. Julie says, love and strength to you, Susan. I hope they see the truth. Talking about Susan's adult children. Yeah, so do I. Hi, Kerry. We've got Kerry there. And I think, okay, Rebecca DeMarco. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca says, everything is in my husband's name and I cannot get free because the pool of money exceeds 400,000. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what country you're living in, Rebecca. I wasn't aware of that in Australia, but that possibly could be the case. Do you know, do you know if that's the way it happens in America, David? You should say everything in my
Well,
husband's name.
what is she saying
Like, oh,
exactly?
okay, I get it. She's saying everything is in her husband's name and she can't get free help, which is we have legal aid in
Yeah.
Australia, but if you've got too many assets, which I guess is kind of fair enough. If you've got too many assets and too much money, they're not going to give you legal aid, which is a government assistance, because obviously they think that you can afford your own to pay for your own lawyer. So what she's
Right.
saying
Yeah, yeah.
is, oh, Australia, yeah. She's saying that everything's in her husband's name, right? So everything's in her husband's name, so she can't sell anything to make any money. It's all in his name, but I guess because they're married, it's still considered hers, part of her assets. So she can't get legal aid. So it's kind of like her hands are tied because she can't get access to any of the assets. But legally wise, she can't get any legal aid because it's all in her husband's name. So, wow.
So,
Yeah.
so a lot of advice can be free. First of all, you can get free
Yeah.
advice usually, but also
Yeah.
see if a lawyer will work with you that knows this.
Yeah. Often,
Maybe a lawyer will help you pro bono and realize this, and you can pay them
yeah.
later.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rebecca. I know that they have look, not that it's ideal, but I know they've got, legal free legal advice that you can, like hotlines you can call on the phone. And yeah, that's a really good idea that David just said. I've heard of lawyers when they know that there's a really big pool of money there and that they know they're going to be paid at the end, and they there might be a really good pay for them because they can see this massive pool of in the property settlement of assets and money, whatever. They may go pro bono for a little while. They may cover your costs for a little while, preempting that, and then they might say, okay, you might have to pay us a little bit. I don't know, but it's worth making a few phone calls because I have heard of lawyers doing that.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can get there's not also from lawyers and law firms. There's free consultation, knowing that there's a big booty for them down the road. A lot of times they won't charge you to listen to you, and they'll give you advice for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan just says here, David, Susan's an Aussie, and she says, and Rebecca's an Aussie too. Rebecca, I had the same problem, and I would have not come out with anything if I didn't have legal representation, and I could not get legal aid. My solicitor worked for me over a year, and obviously I can't see the end of that again, Susan, but it sounds like her solicitor, Susan's solicitor, worked for her over a year without and waited until she was actually able to get some money from the other half, from the narcissistic ex. So it sounds like there's lawyers out there, Rebecca. I guess you've just got to do some searching, and it's really unfortunate. Isn't that just the way that the narcissist puts everything in their name? And you know what, guys, this is intentional, so that if you do go, you will go with nothing, and you will have to work so hard to take anything, to get anything. So what does this do? Often, especially when the victim's got children, they just go, it's too hard. It's just too hard. I'm going to stay. And they'll go, where am I going to go? I don't have any money. Everything's in that person's name. I'll just stay. And that's all manufactured by the narcissist
Yeah,
to
yeah,
keep you in that
yeah,
in that war zone. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway. Well, that's it, David. So yeah, we've come to the end of another evening. So yeah, I've really enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
just something that all victims go through, isn't it? The smear campaign, and I think some of those strategies that you've put forth are going to be so helpful because yeah,
Good. I hope so.
yeah,
I
like
hope
because I
so.
think
It's
the
so
natural
damaging. And
defense when you hear awful things being said, you want to go in and defend yourself, but it's actually the worst thing to do. Yeah, whatever
yeah,
you
go.
think with the narcissist, you think that you should do or you feel like doing, 99% of the time, it's actually exactly the opposite is what you should be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, if your first reaction is usually what they're trying to get you to do. They're trying to
Yeah.
manipulate you from far away, from distance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like whatever the narcissist is saying to you, um, flip that around and it's actually the absolute opposite is what they mean. That's how you can reframe it. Whatever's coming out of their mouth, take the opposite to be true.
Just like when they start accusing you of a bunch of stuff, it's projection. It's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are the template for their smear campaign. Whatever they're doing is what you will be doing in the smear campaign. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep.
Ali Schultz says, thank you very much, David and Nova. Our pleasure, Ali.
Thank you.
Ali Johnson says, thank you tonight was very helpful. Our absolute pleasure, Ali.
Good.
Rebecca DeMarco says, Nova, I need you to be my lawyer. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a big, I don't know. That's very kind of you, Rebecca. But I can certainly I can give you a name of a really good lawyer here in Brisbane that will be able to help you. But I don't know about the pro bono thing, but I can certainly give you a name. So yeah, David, thank you so much once again for joining us. Just awesome to have you back. And as always, guys, please like and share. I know I keep repeating that, but it's just so important. Like, share to get the word out there. And I know that this information will help someone else, and what you've gone through will help someone else. So yeah, please like and share. Please like David's fantastic YouTube channel, which is CNXG. Look for CNXG, Crazy Narcissist Ex-Girlfriend. Just a fantastic YouTube channel. David puts stuff out regularly, specifically on narcissistic abuse recovery and narcissistic personality disorder, all that kind of stuff, which is just invaluable advice for you guys. So please subscribe to his channel. And also please subscribe to my very, very new YouTube channel, which you can find under Brighter Outlook Counselling Service. And I'm doing the same thing, putting out information to help victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. So on that note, I would like to say thank you once again, David, for joining us at such an early hour of your morning, and urge you to come over here one day to Oz so we can have you here live. You need to get on that plane. And we'll, I guess we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, in a fortnight.
Thank you for having me again, and thank you all of you guys for tuning in, watching, and adding and supporting all of it. Thank you. Looking forward to see you again.
Okay, thanks, David. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, yeah, probably still there. So thanks once again, David. Love having you here. Yeah, so everyone, here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Brisbane, Queensland, Australia time. Obviously different, way different if you're in the States like David is, and or UK, New Zealand, Fiji, whereabouts you're tuning in from in the world. I'm a counsellor on the north side of Brisbane. I work and counsel victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse every day. That's what I do. So if you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, whether that's via Skype, if you're outside of the country or just not close to Brisbane, I certainly am able to Skype you and we can talk that way. Or of course, if you're close to Brisbane, then I would love to see you here at Brighter Outlook face-to-face at Warner on the north side of Brisbane. Okay, on that note, I would like to say thank you so much for joining myself and David. It's been amazing. I love doing these live streams, and I've had a fantastic night helping you and answering your questions and interacting with you. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks as always for your support, and I will see you next Tuesday at the same time, same channel. On that note, goodbye everyone. See you next week. And as always, remember your worth and then add tax. Bye-bye.